We've all been there, right? You sit through a whole presentation, and when it's over, you're still not totally sure what the main point was. Well, today, we're going to fix that for good. We're going to break down the key principles that take a slide deck from amateur to truly professional, the kind of authoritative presentation that actually gets results. Let's dive in. So, what's the single biggest thing that separates the pros from the amateurs? It is this right here. The real secret is to stop obsessing over what will my slides look like and start asking, what is the architecture of my argument? Seriously, if you can nail this one shift in thinking, you are already miles ahead of the game. It's the key to everything. And that leads us perfectly into our first and, honestly, most crucial point. You have to start with the answer. We're going to build our strategic foundation using a framework that basically flips the traditional suspense-filled storytelling model completely on its head. That framework is called the Minto Pyramid Principle. It's this incredibly powerful way of communicating that, like I said, flips the script. Instead of a long, slow build-up to some grand finale, you hit them with your main conclusion right at the beginning. This immediately respects your audience's time and gives them the context to understand why all the details that follow actually matter. And here's where it gets kind of meta. We are using the Minto Pyramid to structure this very explainer. Remember that slide a minute ago, the one about structure over slides? That was our answer first. Right now, we're in step 2, walking through the key supporting arguments. This section is about strategy. Later, we'll get to the design, the data. See how this structure just makes everything so much easier to follow? Now, this principle isn't just for the deck as a whole, it applies to every single slide. Your slide title should be the takeaway. A weak title like Q4 sales data, that's just a label. It's passive. But a strong title, like this one here, delivers the conclusion up front. It turns the slide from a boring data dump into a powerful piece of your actual argument. And this brings up a crucial point. When you start building these clean answer-first slides, they become amazing visual aids for a live talk, but they won't make a ton of sense on their own. This means you need a second document, a detailed narrative leave-behind for anyone who missed the meeting. Trying to make one deck do both jobs is a classic fatal mistake. All right, on to our second big argument. We've got our strategy sorted. Now we need a professional technical foundation. I'm talking about establishing unbreakable consistency before you even think about putting content on the page. This is how you build credibility before you even open your mouth. You know, nothing screams amateur louder than inconsistency. When the colors are just a little bit off, or the fonts keep changing, or the logo is jumping around, it just signals a lack of care, a lack of attention to detail. And that small stuff, it completely undermines your authority before you've even made your first point. So how do you fix this? Your secret weapon is the slide master. Think of it as the central control panel for your entire presentation. Instead of fixing colors and fonts and logos on every single slide, which is a nightmare, you set the rules here, just once. It makes consistency automatic and saves you from all that tedious manual work. Okay, so strategy, check. Technical foundation, check. Now let's talk about the fun part, design. Our third pillar is all about designing for absolute clarity. And these aren't just, friendly suggestions. They are non-negotiable rules to make sure your audience can get your message with zero friction. Rule number 1 is so simple, but so powerful. Your body text must be at least 24 points, period. No exceptions. And if you start running out of space, the answer is never to shrink the font. The answer is to add another slide. This one simple rule guarantees that everyone, even the person in the very back of the room, can read what you've written. I mean, this comparison says it all, doesn't it? The amateur slide is just a wall of text. It's a cognitive nightmare that forces your audience to read instead of listen to you. The professional, on the other hand, uses a strict discipline like the 4x4 rule, a maximum of 4 bullets with a maximum of 4 words each. It forces you to be concise and creates that beautiful white space that gives your ideas room to breathe. So let's just recap these non-negotiables in a quick checklist. You need big, clear titles, at least 36 points. Readable body text, that's our 24-point rule. And critically, you need high contrast. Light text on a dark background or dark on light. And see that font limit? Stick to 3 fonts max. Any more than that and you're just creating visual chaos. Following these simple rules is an instant sign of a pro. Okay, now we're at the bottom layer of our pyramid, the evidence. Data visuals aren't just there to look pretty. They are the proof. They're what backs up your arguments. And to do that job, they have to be presented with absolute, uncompromising clarity. So let me ask you a question. What's the main goal of any chart you put up on a slide? Is it to show every single piece of data you have? To look complex and impressive? No, absolutely not. The real goal is for your chart to pass the clarity test. Every single visual has to deliver one, and only one, clear message. If you have to spend even 30 seconds explaining what people are looking at, the chart has failed. Your job as the presenter is to do the hard work of turning raw data into an actual insight, not to just show everyone your messy spreadsheet. And of course, choosing the right tool for the job is essential. You wouldn't use a hammer to turn a screw, right? It's the same with charts. Each one has a very specific purpose. A bar chart is perfect for comparing different categories, like sales by region. A line chart is for showing a trend over time, like your monthly growth. Using the wrong chart type can confuse your audience, or even worse, mislead them. All right, we are on the home stretch. For our final supporting argument, let's talk about polish. This is where we can use things like animation and transitions, not as distracting flair, but as a sophisticated tool to guide your audience's attention exactly where you want it to go. The difference here is night and day. Professional transitions, like a simple fade or a push, should be almost invisible. Their job is to serve the content without drawing any attention to themselves. But those distracting, wacky effects like vortex or checkerboard, they just break everyone's focus and, honestly, they scream amateur hour. Now, if you do want to use some modern, sophisticated motion, the gold standard today is the Morph transition. It's this incredibly powerful tool that lets you create these seamless, almost cinematic animations between slides. It basically figures out how to move an object from one slide to the next, all on its own. So how does that work in the real world? Okay, picture this. You have a slide with a really complex diagram on it. It's kind of overwhelming, and you only want to talk about one specific part of it. And this is where the magic of Morph comes in. On your next slide, you just duplicate the first one, delete everything you don't need, and then enlarge the single piece you want to highlight. Morph handles the rest. It creates this smooth, elegant zoom that directs everyone's focus exactly where you want it. It's the perfect example of using motion with a purpose. And that brings us full circle, back to one of our most important takeaways. A great live presentation is built on sparse, highly visual slides. And because of that, you absolutely must create a separate, detailed handout to serve the people who couldn't be there. Remember, one deck cannot do both jobs well. So, I'll leave you with a challenge. The next time you're building a high-stakes presentation, ask yourself this: does it pass the 30-second test? Can someone understand your key message, your main point, right at the beginning? Or are you making them wait, burying your conclusion on the very last slide and just hoping they have the patience to find it? Your answer to that question will decide if you're making just another slide deck or a real tool of authority.